Hey everyone, Reverend Geek here. This is my review of Agents of SHEILD, Episode 1 of Season 2, Shadows. So I'm going to begin by saying you might get some spoilers. Well, you're going to get spoilers. So let's just jump right into it. And Agents of SHEILD is coming back right off of a hot month for Marvel with Guardians of the Galaxy. So you're not going to get too much of that, but I think what we see at the beginning of the episode, it began with Peggy Carter and the Howland Commandos busting in on a Hydra base, trying to get their hands on some kind of obelisk device, and it had Kree writing. It had that same writing that we saw Coulson writing at the end of the season final last year. So right off the bat, I'm going to try to change things up here and give you. I'm going to kind of give you besides that, a brief summary, and then the takeaways. I got 5 takeaways and 3 things I'm just calling the big 3. Trying to just change it up. Please write in the comments, tell me what you think and how I could probably best change things up. But here we go. So right from there, we get into the action. We got Absorbing Man. We get some new agents. We see Sky actually as a full agent, full-on realized agent. It's been some months since the events, and I'm going to take it that it's actually probably a little bit further in the future than right now, given from some of the time stamping or some of the time that they were talking about. Seems like they were able to escape all winter. Talbot at one point tells Coulson that they had eluded him all winter. So that tells me either that's a little giveaway to Winter Soldier or some kind of maybe takeaway to the fact that they've been on the run for longer than just the 4 months that they've been off the air. So given that fact, we get to see Sky a little bit better than what she was. She's still got some learning curves, but she's definitely better than she was in the season finale last year as a fully realized agent. We get to see the base. We get to see what's happened with Fitz. We just go on with this whole conspiracy theory that we find out Hydra is still active. Even though Talbot thinks that he's got things under control, he doesn't. Hydra is still active and active quite a bit. So being that this is a unified universe between the TV show and the movies, this is definitely starting to feel like right off the bat that it's going to fit in with Avengers 3 when that comes out next summer. So how is this going to all piece together? It's kind of hard to say right now, but overall we get a good feel, a good beginning. It's a good jump on point. Anybody who didn't watch it last year could easily jump in and kind of get their feel. We got to see where all the agents were. We even got to see the former agent, Ward. We even get to see a bit of how, no easy way of putting this, we get to see who the big bad is going to be. It's a character from the comics, Kraken, so I don't know if we're going to see everything realized about that character. In fact, I'm almost thinking because we see that he begins in the pre-credit sequence with Agent Carter and the Howland Commandos, and then he's the big reveal at the end of the episode. I'm almost going to say that we might see him kind of be that bridge point when Agent Carter debuts right after the mid-season finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and before we see the mid-season return or second half return. So that's really it. We get to see things. We're still left with a cliffhanger. I don't want to get into too much because I do have my my takeaways, my 5 takeaways, and my big 3. So I guess I'll jump right in on this. So my takeaways: we get to look at the spinoff Agent Carter. I don't even know if we can say it's a spinoff or a prequel, but as we know, Agent Carter is in Strategic Scientific Reserves, and if you've seen the Peggy Carter one-shot that was on Iron Man 3, you know that that is the basis really for the show, why the show is coming in. But it was really good. It really kind of gave us a nice sliver. It wasn't like really a throwaway scene. It really played out into the storyline with the 004, the 84, the original one, as Coulson said. So we get to see quite a bit of that, and we see how that might play out. We see Dum Dum, Duggan, and Jim. Just the chemistry is there for a team as we're beginning and hoping to see how this is going to end up. Probably my second. Well, it's not my. Probably it is. My second takeaway is Lucy Lawless. I can't speak today. Lucy Lawless. I don't know if her character, I had heard that she had signed on, and I don't know, the way the episode ended with her seemingly dead and losing her arm to the device that was used. It kind of doesn't feel right because Lucy Lawless is a big star in and of her own, and so just to have a star like that, of that caliber, be able to just kind of jump in, be in one episode, and possibly die, didn't seem like that was really what was going on. So I'm kind of wondering how that's going to play out. I think we might see her back. I don't know how that's going to go. I can't think of her as any other character, and I know the name was not a name familiar to the Marvel Universe. So unless they're doing things to kind of throw us off, we're not gonna see things that way. The third takeaway really was interesting. It's the playground, the base that Nick Fury left Coulson at the end of last season, and I don't know if anybody really noticed this. I've already seen a couple of reviews and read a couple of reviews. Nobody seemed to get this, that the playground appears to be an old SSR base. When you look at Skye as she's going down to talk to Ward, you can see clearly on the door the symbol of the SSR, which is the pre-SHEILD intelligence group, and you can see that eagle that they use, that the bird logo that they use, which is different from SHIELD's own logo, going into where Ward was held. So I think that alone, and just kind of how the base is really not shiny, clean, new touchscreen. It just really seems that they went back, and I like it. I really do. I think it adds to this thing that this might have been a base that had been mothballed, and Nick Fury wiped it off the grid, so that way there, just in case something happened, he could easily use it himself, or let his trusted agents use it, like Maria Hill or Phil Coulson. So obviously Nick knew what was going to happen. Probably, I mean, you can picture him doing it as the events of Winter Soldier were going on, that he would have done this probably during his supposed death. Sorry, spoilers. Um, but probably during his supposed death in Winter Soldier, you could see him taking the time to do that. You could probably even um, see him taking time. Um, well, yeah, it would just be in Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier and the events, the last few episodes of Agents of Shield happened relatively close together. So, um, that would seem to be what Fury did, and if he did, it works. I think the aesthetics are nice. I think that overall, we did get to see Triplet bring in some of his grandfather's old World War II SSR equipment and use that last season. So we know that there's going to be some nice little nods, and I'm expecting to see maybe even the playground used as the location in Agent Carter to kind of save money, one, and two, I think it would make it a nice little bridge between the two series. My fourth takeaway is mercs. Coulson's using mercenaries. Why? I don't know. Seems that, as he said, it's people you can trust, and if that's what he's doing, it doesn't make too much sense. But given that we're supposed to see Mockingbird show up later in the series, it's going to be interesting, because I can't remember Mockingbird's origin, but I know that she ends up marrying Hawkeye, and I don't think that they do that on the series, but who knows? But it would be a nice, interesting thing to bring in some other characters that are superheroes and maybe keep them in with Agents of Shield as the series goes forward. You kind of want to see that Jeremy Renner or Chris Evans cameos, and instead of seeing Maria Hill. But that it's TV, and we're gonna get little nods. Last year we got Lady Sif from Thor in one episode, so we'll see how it goes from here. My last takeaway is Talbot thinks he's in control. Like I said earlier, he's not. We find out through the episode that there's a lot of Hydra cells going on, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes from there. That's going to be the plot point, and that's going to ultimately lead into Avengers 3. And I think in Avengers 3 we will see probably the finishing of maybe cleaning out most of Hydra. You got to think AIM has to be there. AIM was mentioned in Iron Man 3, and we haven't heard from them since. So you got to think that maybe AIM and Hydra, which have teamed up and actually gone against each other at times, could be a part of what we're going to see this season, but who knows? So my big three. Here's my big three. Big three. Ward is on ice, and he's down there. He looks a little crazy. He's got the beard going. Definitely seems to be a little bit nicer. Maybe time by himself would show that. I think last year when they were showing us kind of the flashback about how Garrett got to him and got him involved in Hydra, I think we did see that Ward was actually a good guy. He did have good origins until Garrett twisted him, and I just think that we're going to see some kind of redemption. I don't think we'll see it. We might get to see part of it towards the mid-season finale, but I think by the end of the season, at least, we will see Ward redeemed and brought back onto the team. I can't see them killing him off, but if they did, that would be an interesting twist on the whole redemptive arc if he sacrifices himself for Skye or Garrett, or not Garrett, but Skye or Coulson or Triplet or somebody. We could see that. But the other takeaway on this, yeah, it's a takeaway on a big three here is he seems to know something about Sky's father, and given that, we have to wonder. Some speculation has been because Sky is an 084. People have been wondering if she's alien by some chance, and I'm kind of wondering if if Ward really knows about Sky's father, then what's not to say that Sky's father is actually a Hydra agent? We did see somebody who seemed to be Sky's father in the season finale last year. We didn't get that callback in the first episode, so we have to wonder, is he some kind of agent of Hydra? And if so, was Sky tested on? We know Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in the Avengers 2 are going to be some kind of experiments because they can't use, Marvel has lost the rights to its mutants because Fox owns that. So we're going to get a second Quicksilver. If you saw Days of Future Past this summer, we got to see Quicksilver in that X-Men film, and we're getting to see Quicksilver in the Avengers, but it's going to be a different origin. My second big three is Fitz is nuts, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes on. All through the episode, I thought that Simmons was there talking to him, and it wasn't until we got to see Coulson talking to some of his team there that we got to see that Simmons is all in his mind and that he's been losing it more and more. So this is going to play out interesting. I even wonder if because Ward and him were somewhat close and that maybe Ward's blaming himself. I don't think Ward tried. Ward, if you remember, was sent to kill them. He thought that box that they were in was going to float and that they were going to be saved, and that's not what happened. So I wonder if Ward is going to somehow be part of the cure for Fitz. But either way, that's an interesting story that you can see them building up on for this season. Finally, my other big three is Skye is a full-on agent. Given that we saw her last year, and we saw this computer geek girl with the street tough mouth and stuff, just kind of fall into the agent's life, however you want to say it. And then we see her shot and almost killed, and all this stuff, and just to see her even in the final episode last year as an agent and kind of getting some action. But last night, seeing her sitting there as a full agent, shooting, being in the middle of the action, really was, I think, one of the high points to show that this show is going to develop further. One of the big points that ended up happening last year was that people were complaining that the show was too slow, that it wasn't capturing enough, and it really didn't pick up until the second half leading into Winter Soldier. That's when they were able to do the changes that people were asking for, and I think that's what they did. They really kind of told us with this character development that, hang on, we're going to give you kind of taste, we're going to let you see where certain characters are this season at the beginning, and you're going to want to stay along to see where they end up at the end. And just to show you, remember Skye, remember how you met her in episode 1 last season. Well, here she is in episode 1 this season, and she's a full-on agent. She's fully realized and still has room to grow. We still don't know what her 084 status is. So, and then my surprise takeaway is going to be the obelisk. I'm wondering if this isn't, and it would make sense, given that we're going to be going for the Infinity Gems, and that there's 6 gems, and we've got half of them so far. We know half of them. Tesseract took the whole first phase of the movies, and then we've had the Ether, and I can't remember what the gem was named in Guardians of the Galaxy, but we've got 3 of them. We've got 3 of the 6, and I think that's going to be the interesting point for this this show, is if we can get one of the gems introduced into the TV series, and then over the Phase 3 movies going into Avengers 3, having the last 2 gems found, I think that would make sense. So I'm gonna say that this obelisk might be one of the gems, and the fact that it's Kree could lean into that. So we'll see. We'll find out. But let me know if you like what you see, what you hear. Subscribe. But I'll talk to you later. Bye.